Countless men have shared a dream of playing under the brightest lights. They all feel they belong. They all feel they've earned it. From freshman football on Wednesdays to college game day on Saturdays, they've been the best of the best, working tirelessly to hone their craft. Exhaustion, injuries, nothing will stop them from reaching their dream. They will not be outworked. They will not let someone take it from them, for they know nothing will be gifted to them. They know that to make it, you've got to take it. They will not be outworked. From scorching summer workouts to pro days, they prepare. The Combine does not hold records. It presents challenges. A draft spot can be earned or lost by tenths of a second. They've worked their whole life for this. Doubt them if you will, but this is no longer just a dream. This is their story.
Welcome into the DML Network and another episode of the Gridiron. It's your host, Expert, and I got two special guests on the show with me today. Of course, you know I always got my brother with me. It's Lord Farquaad. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, let's get into this talent that's about to hit the DML, man. Let's go.
No doubt, and we got another special guest. It's the co-commish. It's SJ himself. What is going on, commish?
What's going on, Expert?
Man, just excited to get into these picks, into some of these top draft picks. And we're 13, 14 weeks into the first Dynasty season, so we're starting to get into that mode of we got to get ready for this off season. And guys are going to start looking at places and spots on their roster that they need to fill to improve themselves. So Farquaad, you got the Falcons. You got a pretty stacked squad. What is one position you're looking at in this draft to improve the Atlanta Falcons?
Offensive line. My defense is pretty young, but that offensive line, there's some studs here. I've got a lot of older offensive linemen that's going to be hitting that retirement button here soon. So I'm looking to go into the offseason trying to aim and go on some of these awesome, talented linemen. No
doubt, and we will look at one of those guys here pretty soon. But SJ, you got a veteran team in the Patriots. You got the GOAT at quarterback. Are you looking to get younger at the QB position?
Well, I'm always going to try to go best talent or best player available, but I think Garoppolo can take the reins when Brady leaves. But we'll look at everybody and see what we can do.
We are going to look at a quarterback today that I think would be a great fit for the Patriots. But guys, let's jump into this first draft pick we're going to look at. He comes out of The Ohio State University. It is none other than Ladarius. This is a very, very talented offensive lineman Farquaad. He is very, very good pass blocker, picks up stunts very well. He does have a little weakness in the run game. He has a problem right at the point of attack, kind of gets a little soft at the point of attack, something they'll have to work on in the NFL. But Farquaad, is this a guy you could see anchoring your offensive line 10 years down the road?
Without a doubt, man. He's got the intangibles, man. Just solely on his character alone. He can definitely grow. He's a leader on his team. They love him. He's a locker room favorite. And when it comes time to make big plays, man, he stepped up and made some big plays at The Ohio State University. This is a solid guy, man. I like his intangibles. I like what he carries. I'm interested to see exactly where he goes because this guy, he's projected to go mid-first round, but with some of these teams that are struggling right now, he could definitely go early. I know if I was in a position, I would go after this guy early. So we'll see where Ladarius goes, man. Well, this guy is solid. He's solid. Pass blocker, and some of these teams that need it, you need to be able to protect your quarterback. That's the number one thing in offense. Protect the quarterback. You're the foundation. This is the perfect guy for it. You got to groom in the right system, though. But this guy, he's a stud.
All right, SJ, we're kind of looking at some tape of Ladarius when he was at The Ohio State, and you see him picking up stunts very, very well in the pass game. But another thing that's really surprising to me at his size is he is a great guard that can just get out and pull and lead that rushing attack. Is that something you like in your style of offense, SJ, where you got guys trying to get out on the edge, especially your fast offensive linemen?
Most definitely. These type of linemen don't grow on trees. So especially in Madden 18, if you can get your hands on a guy like this, he can be an anchor for a long time, preferably until Madden 19. So I think a few moves will be made for GMs to try to move up to take Brockers here early.
All right, Farquaad, I know you like him with your Falcons, but what is one more team in the Dynasty right now that needs this big monster on their offensive line?
Hey, I'm like that you said that, because I'm looking at this winless Buffalo Bills team right now. Hamilton could use this guy. He is ranked dead last in almost every offensive category, and that's terrible. And this guy can come in and be an instant starter on this offensive line. Plug him up anywhere, he can start instantly. The Buffalo Bills is the team I think should go after this guy.
All righty, that is Ladarius Brockers from The Ohio State. Let's move on to the next athlete we have on the board, and this will be the quarterback out of Clemson. And this is a big quarterback. And I like this guy. I know I have Deshaun Watson in Houston already. But I like big quarterbacks that can sit in the pocket, that can find that guy downfield. But also, if he has to use his legs, can he get out on the corner and run for that first down that you need? Now, you got Matt Ryan already in Atlanta, but Matt Ryan's not a young guy. Is Wayne Wilson from Clemson one of those guys you could see standing behind that big, huge offensive line in Atlanta?
Oh, without a doubt, man. I'm actually looking, as far as I need the next best thing behind Matty Ice, to groom him. He's behind a great quarterback that can learn the playbook and just study. Wayne Wilson he's a guy I think that can come into my system at least and scan that field. I've got the linemen that'll protect him for a while. We've got receivers and Uncle Julio. If he can sit in that pocket and scan the field, which is one of his big traits that he carries, this guy can be a stud. He's a mid-second rounder, which I think is very ideal because there's a lot of good talent ahead of him. But Wayne Wilson is going to be a stud wherever he falls to. Who's going to reach? Some teams need a QB early, so we'll see who's going to reach. I think somebody's going to reach for this guy, but this guy ultimately is a stud. I know one of his negatives is that he didn't take a lot of snaps from under center, but under the right system, the right coach, they'll groom him up. He'll be all right.
Okay, so SJ, Farquaad just touched on that. This is a guy who 99.9% of the time took the snap either in pistol or in shotgun. Is that going to hurt his development that first year coming out of Clemson, trying to get accustomed to taking those snaps under center as much as you have to in the NFL?
It may or may not. It all depends on the user and what kind of situation he's put in. Farquaad and I are in similar situations where we don't really need a future at QB, but it's never too soon to think that way. So, I can see him fitting in my system. And maybe he comes in as a superstar development player and starts day one over Garoppolo should Brady retire. So, he does have a lot of the attributes you want to see in a QB. The character issues I think I can fix. So he wants to get better. So they say. So we'll put him in the right situation, put some rookie receivers around him, and see what we can do. We're looking at his highlights here, SJ and Farquaad, and this is a kid that can just sit in the pocket, and he has a cannon for an arm. Farquaad, you got to be excited when you see a guy like this at the QB position, especially with the type of weapons a lot of teams have in the NFL. But you said Buffalo needs offensive linemen. What about QB? Who right now could this guy step in and be a starter on day one for?
There's a plethora of teams out there that could go to this guy. Who I personally think could use this guy. Top 10. Why? There's a ton of teams out here. Why not Green Bay? I know you got Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod out there. He's got some years left in him, but hey, why not? By the time they catch up to him, the way injuries happen, I think he could be implemented pretty well in Green Bay. I know he's got a mobile type quarterback backing him up, but I think this guy Green Bay, it's a pretty good system. The users look questionable, but you gotta plan for stuff like this. And I agree. He looked good in the Packer uniform, I think.
Okay, SJ, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. He picked the Packers. Let's look on the AFC side. Do you think maybe a team like the Jets or maybe the Cleveland Browns could look at this guy to come in and be their quarterback of the future?
I could definitely see Houdini, the GM of the Browns, taking him here. I think he's done well with Kaiser. He might even be happy with him, but you almost need 2 QBs in Madden 18. And now that I think about it, he's done well with even Kaiser behind center a couple times. So although he may be okay with them, an upgrade is always appreciated as far as I'm concerned. So maybe he does take him here.
Yeah, it'd be dangerous to see Ness pick up this quarterback because Ness is one of those users that when he starts putting talent on that Jets team, they're going to be dangerous. All right, guys, that is Wayne Wilson from the University of Clemson. Let us move on. Next up, it is Joe Claridge out of the University of Michigan State. This is a Big Ten monster at middle linebacker. This is a guy that can come in right now and just make your defense a more physical defense. Farquaad, I know one of the things him coming out of college people talked about, sometimes he can get a little bit over aggressive and he likes to bite on some play fakes, but tell us, what are some of the best things about Joe at that middle linebacker position that teams should be excited about?
His opening game he played in was, this guy looked everything like first round talent. His first 2 games that he played. He came out, I think he had 10 plus tackles. He had a lot of sacks. This guy is almost Luke Kuechly-ish, the way he played. I'm not going to go so much, him being over aggressive. That can get better in time, but this guy is everything when it comes to being a first round talent. This guy is fast, he's physical, he makes good reads, and he's just an all around aggressive middle linebacker. I really like this guy, but as the great Stephen A. Smith says, this guy cannot stay off the weed, and it's affecting his draft stock right now, man. But outside of that, somebody's going to get a steal with this guy, Joe Claridge. He's one of my favorite guys going into this draft.
All right, SJ. Farquaad mentioned it. This guy's had some trouble off the field. They're worried about maybe that being a locker distraction. He's slotted to go in late in the 3rd round. Do you think some of his off-field issues are the reason that teams are skeptical about picking this guy up?
Hey, it could be, and as far as I'm concerned, I hope they do pass on him, because if he falls to the Patriots, that's taken. If he's in love with Mary Jane, that's fine with me, because there's no suspensions in Madden, so I'm okay with it.
No doubt. Yeah.
All right, so character issue, not a problem for the Patriots. That should not surprise anybody that is listening to this show. The Patriots don't have a problem with character problems. But let's talk about this guy's potential in the dynasty. We know how important it is to have that middle linebacker to anchor your defense. He's the quarterback of your defense, put guys in the right position. Is this a guy we see teams reaching for, Farquaad? I know he's a late 3rd rounder, but could you see this guy going late 1st, early 2nd?
Without a doubt. We have got a lot of users in this league love speed. We have a lot of speedy lovers, including myself, especially at this position. With these wide receivers that are out here running the post, running drag routes, you got to have someone that can keep up with him. And I think Joe over here can definitely change somebody's defense, man. Joe Claridge can definitely change my defense. So I think someone will reach for him simply based off his speed alone. Based off that alone, somebody reach for him.
I definitely would love for this guy to fall to wherever the Houston Texans pick at. He would be an instant day 1 starter in Houston. Team him up with those 2 monster defensive ends I got. Definitely could use some help. And I think Claridge is exactly what Farquaad and SJ said. He is a game changer for your football team if you put him in the right position. All right, guys, let's go on the running back that I am excited about. It is Kenny Golson. Guys, this is a speedster. This guy has potential to probably be the steal of the draft. Now, I know that's crazy to say for a guy that's not projected to go in the first round. He's projected to be a late second rounder, but Farquad, this guy has speed for days, and he loves to catch the ball at the backfield. Kind of that, not that same body type David Johnson is, but he's got the hands like David Johnson, and he's got the speed like a Ezekiel Elliott, a Le'Veon Bell. What about this guy excites you the most?
Kenny Golson he's a very rare player in a position where this position really I feel like it's losing value, or it's lost value up to this point. And seeing how this run game is in Madden 18, I think the running back position is the value is going to drive up, starting with this guy, Kenny Golson. This guy, I watched him take a run. I can't remember what game it was. I'm sorry for that, but I saw this guy break off a 75-yard run. He caught a pass in the flats, and this guy made defenders miss, and he took off to the house. This guy is a instant starter, superstar potential, projected late second. If this guy falls in the second round, I'm gonna lose my shit, man. Kenny Golson's a solid guy. He has unprecedented speed. He has I like his build, man. For the way he runs, I like his I like his build. And he's a dual threat guy. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and that's a problem. If you're a defensive coordinator, that's a headache to try to game plan against.
Okay, so Farquad talked about his build. He probably is going to have to put maybe 5-10 more pounds on to be that every down back in the NFL. But SJ, one of the problems Kenny has had in college is he put the ball on the ground quite a bit. He has that Tiki Barber kind of move where he could break a long one, but the next 3 times he touches it, he puts the ball on the ground. Is that going to make guys shy away from Kenny Golson?
It could. It looks like he may have had that, like you said, that Tiki Barber. Sometimes Shady McCoy had a ball security issue at times. Flashy, puts the ball out there, easy to poke out. But I think he's fast, he's smart, so some ball carrying issues can be fixed. I wouldn't be surprised if he went early in the first round as opposed to the second round, because speed is very important in Madden 18. Awareness, which he should have with a 3.8 GPA. So he should be smart, elusive, fast. Carrying is the easiest thing to fix for a running back, in my opinion.
No doubt. All right, Farquad. With all the ball control skills and all the issues that people say Kenny Golson has, do we see Kenny Golson in the top 10 with how important the run game is in the Dynasty?
I don't think he'll go. There's just too many needs out there for some of these teams that are going to be in the top 10. There's too many needs. But at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if he went, because if you see how this run game is, how overpowered it is, this guy, he's a problem. So we'll see. This will be another guy I'm going to keep an eye out for in the draft board, because he could go very early. He's definitely first round talent though. So We'll see. I'll keep my eye on this guy for sure.
Sure. The one thing about
Yeah, go ahead, SJ.
Yeah, the one thing I want to add there is that, in Madden 18, what I've noticed, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I've noticed that if you have a 68 overall, a 78 speed linebacker, something glaringly bad in that position, you'll feel it. You can't just plug and play anybody and get production. So to what Farquad said, if there's a lot of holes in teams out there, so you can't just reach and just grab and guess and hope. You have to strategically pick a player that you need, a position of need, rather than just try to just grab the best player that you think you can score some points with.
I see Kenny Golson making a lot of noise in the Dynasty draft. There are going to be guys that are going to try and trade up to go and get this speedster. It's going to be interesting to who picks him up. But let's move on to our last player out of the University University of Ohio. It's Delbert Henderson. Delbert Henderson from a smaller school from Ohio. And this is the defensive end. He's projected to go in the 3rd round. Farquad, let's start off with some of the things we already know are going to be a problem for Henderson. He didn't quite play the level of talent you'd like to see coming out of college, and he had a couple injuries in college to his shoulders that could be an issue at the defensive end position. What do you see of this guy coming out of Ohio?
A lot of teams will pass on him, and I don't ever want to. I mean, these guys work their way, they battled their way all their lives to get to this position, and very few are able to be in this position that he's in. I never want to root against the guy, but this guy has had opportunity after opportunity, chance after chance after chance, and he just makes bad decisions on top of, his injury list. I want to see this guy thrive. He's a great football player. He's a great football player.
Yeah.
The thing that worries me is just his mental. And the NFL is not 100% physical, man. It's like, I want to say 50 physical, 50% mental. You've got to have a good mental brain to play this fucking game, man. You got to have a good, you got to make good decisions. And this guy he struggles with that a lot. So hopefully if he gets drafted, he'll get a mentor or someone will reach out to him and work on this young man's thinking, because he's a good player. I mean, we wouldn't be featuring him right now if he wasn't. So outside of that, I want to see this guy thrive. And I mean, he's done it, week after week. We'll see what Delbert. Honestly, he's just a big question mark on my board right now. I don't know where to put him.
Yeah, SJ. So Farquad touched on some of the issues that he has, but he has a lot of upside, SJ. Is this one of those guys you draft with the potential that he could be one of those superstar talents for you on your defense?
Although he's been graded anywhere from a 2nd-round talent to, as Farquad mentioned, undraftable, that's a heck of a range there. But, if you have some extra picks, maybe an extra 3rd-round pick, an extra 4th-round pick, and you need a pass rusher, if it were me, I'd take a chance because, actually earlier today I was talking with the Rams GM, Tazzarelli, and we were talking about D-line play. Putting him alongside Donald, if he even lives up to half the potential that he has, I think that'd be a good fit. If he had to go anchor a defense somewhere, somewhere where they're building, then maybe it wouldn't work. But if he has one job, rush the passer, and he can do that, and that only, I think he can excel.
Okay, Farquad, is this a guy that you can see maybe being moved around, maybe not playing defensive end all the time, maybe put him in that left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker, and let him play both rush the passer and in coverage? Is this guy have that kind of athletic ability?
From what I've seen, I don't know. I want to see how he does in the combine. I want to see exactly how how physical this guy can be, and how he's athletic talent, very athletic talent. But I want to see how he does before I can't even answer that question. I want to see how he does in the combine. I'm not really sure. I mean, we see them on the line for the most part. So that's yet to see. We still have a year. He still has a few more weeks left to go. But from what I've seen right now, he belongs on the offensive line. Belongs on the defensive line. So we'll see. We'll see come combine time.
All righty, guys. Those are our 5 draft picks. SJ, what are you most excited about for this offseason coming up? I know we still got 6-7 weeks left in the regular season. And we still got quite a bit of time left before the offseason gets here. But it's our first offseason in Madden 18. SJ, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I kind of have my plan, in place. But I'm looking forward most to what other teams do, because usually that's where the separation begins, when you see teams overpay for a player or trade their picks away, or things like that. That's where you start to see separation. Despite the team overall, right now, pretty much all 32 teams, to a degree, are balanced, so to speak. But when you see bad moves made, and you see great moves made, that's when you start to see real separation. So I'm looking forward to see what mistakes I see made first.
That's a great point. Dynasty, I hope you were paying attention. SJ throwing free chicken out here on the Gridiron, only on the DML network. All right, Farquaad, the question everybody wants to know. Do the Atlanta Falcons play in the Super Bowl this year in the Dynasty?
That's always the goal, man. I'm gonna be real conservative and just say that's the goal. Just like all other 31 teams. We're gonna shoot for that. But the NFC is tough, and we're definitely gonna continue to do what we got to do to get there. But you're not gonna set me up this time, expert.
What's your record right now, Farquaad?
You're not gonna set me up, bro. Hell no. We're gonna 9-3, man. We sitting all right at 9-3 right now.
Man, that team is tough. That team is tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe I should attack it. Wait, Keanu Neal. Oh, maybe that team is stacked. There's no weakness on that squad whatsoever. Maybe backup speed. That might be it.
Yeah, it's rough. All right, guys, this is the DML Network, another episode of the Gridiron. I'm your host, Expert. I just want to thank, of course, Lord Farquaad for always jumping on, being a co-host with me, and the co-commish taking time out of his day. SJ, man, appreciate you so much jumping on the Gridiron with us. Dynasty, get ready. The off season is almost here.
Oh, yeah.
But we are done, and we are out.